we downsized from a 5-bedroom home to a 2-bedroom apartment.
We had 3 kids at the time. One was sleeping in a closet. It was barely anything that you would find on Pinterest.
So can a 2-bedroom apartment truly be a place of gospel hospitality?
Come with us as we share the story about how God transformed one of the most embarrassing seasons of our life to become one of the most transformational ones to understanding gospel intentionality, hospitality. So we had 2 kids at the time. We had just moved back to Colorado from Texas. And I remember the day that we put all of our furniture and belongings into a storage unit because we weren't really sure what was going on. We said yes to a ministry job. Mm-hmm. And so now we're living in this 2-bedroom apartment. I think we downsized by 2,000 square feet. Yep. We're in this small apartment. I find out I'm pregnant with our 3rd. We have 2 bedrooms. Our kids' playroom became their walk-in closet. And we have no space for what we feel like, or what I felt like we needed. And yet God totally transformed us in the middle of that season. What do you remember kind of being the first step into us learning that hospitality was less about what we had in this space that was abounding and more about what God was asking us to do?
Well, I think some of it was what we came from. So we had this beautiful 5-bedroom home, plenty of space. I would say it was exciting to invite people over to show them, hey, this is our home. This is what we do. So to then go from 5-bedroom home into a 2-bedroom apartment, it was like getting over like almost the embarrassment of like, do we want to invite people over? I think there was a part of me that was like the fear of man, of dying to the fear of man's opinion of me and what that looked like and of our family, and just saying, no, this is like actually family and hospitality is more than just the place. It has the environment and the people that are correlated.
It's interesting that you say that because I do remember hosting my women's small group one week. And I remember one lady who was coming who's super wealthy from the church. And I was like kind of embarrassed of like, this feels hard to like do it here because what do I have to offer? And I actually don't remember. I know I stressed out about making the place look amazing. And I don't remember the things that I made. But what I do remember is that we talked about Jesus and we dove into community and had a blast that day, like just doing life together. And I think what happened over the time was that the Lord just started to slowly convict me of hospitality is not about what you present. It's about presence and being with people and opening an environment and a space. And so I remember we went from kind of feeling embarrassed to like, man, let's just open this up and invite people in. And who does God want us to invite in? So I remember every time a new pastor joined staff, we had them over. I remember we would have other people with kids over and we would let them run the hallway and had this ginormous long hallway that they could scooter down and run races down. But we started to make the most of it. But I think I had to get over that lie of like hospitality can only be if you have the immaculate space to create something for people to experience.
Yeah. And it's like that image driven of like, this isn't Martha Stewart, isn't the gospel centered hospitality, right? It has more to do with the environment, the people, and that it's purposeful. It's intentional.
Yeah.
So even like we were making food, creating an environment of connection, but it was also purposeful. Mm-hmm. Like we were sharing, hey, this is what I was reading this morning in the Word, or this is something I've been convicted by, or this is something I've been praying. We were taking purposeful action to have, gospel-centered conversations about what God was presently doing in our lives.
Yeah, I think even the insecurities that we had never crossed anyone else's mind, right? They were just so grateful to be invited. And I think of the young couples that didn't have kids at the time that we kind of welcomed in, and they loved on our kids and got to experience just us as a family and how much that meant for them, even though we had no clue, right? That was a big thing for them at that point. And so I think the biggest lie that we all have to overcome is the Pinterest lie of have it all together, have the right plates, have the right food, have the right mood and vibe, right?
Mhm.
And sometimes I just think if that's all you focus on, like you still haven't seen like the depths of like a person who just needs to feel seen.
Yeah.
Not bad. Those things aren't bad elements, but it's not the element.
Yeah. And it's such an opportunity to allow the Spirit to guide us in conversations of purposefulness, right? So Denver just made the list for one of the loneliest cities in the U.S. And I think like what an awesome opportunity for us as believers to create environments where we can pursue others and invite others, the stranger, into our place to experience the love and the peace of Jesus within our home.
Yeah. So my tip to the women is make it easy. Like we're having someone over tonight and I'm getting Costco chili and I'm throwing it in my crock pot and we're calling it good. Like it doesn't, there's so much pressure that's released when you're like, I don't have to make the perfect meal. I don't have to have dessert. I don't have to have all these things. Like you just like, I'm more focused in asking the Lord, like, man, what do you want me to know about? Like, what are the things that you're asking me to like speak into tonight? How are you asking me to see these individuals more than, oh my goodness, do I have all the things that are going to make it look like I have this beautiful presentation?
Yeah.
That took years for me to learn, right?
Totally. But I think now just being comfortable with, there's a difference. We want to be responsible.
Yeah.
But like just because the kids' toys are out doesn't mean that the neighbors can't come over.
Yeah.
And I would say for the men, for them to know what's the purpose of this time and nailing that down. So for example, if a neighbor is coming over that we're building a relationship with, maybe I don't know their faith journey. So the purpose is maybe I'll share part of my journey and ask them hey, did you grow up in a place of faith? What has your faith looked like? Do you have a faith? Do you have a journey? And being able to listen. Maybe it's a young couple that's coming over and the purpose is like, hey, we just want to hear what the Lord's doing in their lives in order for them to know what the next step of encouragement may be for them as a couple.
I think that's really good because hang out, you and I are not much for like, let's just hang out. Like we try to have intention. And now that we have a family, we try to invite them into it. So we always give the kids a job. So are they getting drinks for people? Are they asking one question? Typically, they usually have to ask at least one question to the individuals that are coming over. Like, how do we incorporate and get them involved? And then for you and I, like we said, we set what is the purpose of this? And then what is one question we can ask or one truth maybe we feel compelled to share, something that just gives that time meaning versus no agenda, no plan. There's nothing that we're kind of thinking about as we're looking to host.
Yeah.
And God's brought different people into our paths, right? We've had people who are those that have hardly anything and they've got no family. And then we've had people who are way better off and have busy schedules, but have taken the time to just come and be a part of what we're doing in our home and with our family.
Yeah. And it gives us a chance to love them wherever they're at in their journey and encourage, right? Like I want when somebody's going into our space, we want them to experience the kingdom of heaven on earth.
Yeah.
Whatever that could look like. That it's just, hey, there's something different of what's happening within this home.
My hope is that they just feel seen and loved, even if it's just for the few hours that they're at our dinner table. So for couples, we would encourage you as you look to step into gospel hospitality, you just have to start.
Yeah. Open your home, invite others in, have a purpose to it. But just allow God to lead you in the midst of that time.
Whether you're in a 2-bedroom apartment or a 3,600 square foot home.